Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
Yo, what's up guys? PKSparkxx, your competitive Wi-Fi battle conductor, is here again on Sunday.
What's good, LumioseStation? It's CuddleofDeath here, yay, hooray, happy day, woo! And as you guys can see, we are doing another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video. However, this video is not going to be an update. This is going to be a speculation video in regards to story changes, story tweaks, because although the main story might stay very, very similar to the previous ones that we saw in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, you can surely bet your ass that you're going to see some sort of tweaking somewhere, because we do have the primal forms of both Groudon and Kyogre.
So as Christian just said, we can definitely expect some story tweaks to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just because of the fact that Kyogre and Groudon are both given primal devolutions, which even though they aren't actual Mega Evolutions, they are a different form and they have to play into the story some way, somehow. Now, either whether it's going to be post-game, whether it's going to be during the game, the main game, or however, it is definitely going to either extend or change the story as we know it.
Personally, I think that it's not going to be post-game. I think it's going to be all throughout, like during the game, because my little theory that I have is that both Team Aqua and Magma are going to have like a little bit of an excavation team, or there's going to be some type of excavation team involved in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They're going to start making these discoveries, and maybe they're going to find items which upset Groudon and Kyogre, sort of like in Ruby and Sapphire how they had the blue and red orbs. Well, this time maybe they'll have some sort of item, right, that's going to upset them and cause them to go into their primal forms, which are like their prehistoric forms. And throughout the entirety of it, how is this going to tie Mega Evolution in? Me personally, I think, you know, throughout all of these discoveries and whatnot, they're going to start discovering the Mega Stones for like the starters and whatnot. So that's how you're going to be able to pick up your Mega Sceptile, Mega Blaziken, and Mega Swampert.
Now, see, I'm actually not sure. I mean, Omega Ruby, I'm sorry, Team Magma, Team Aqua, Team Rocket, and Team Plasma. Okay, let me stop. Anyway, them having an excavation for the Mega Stones kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, what does Steven Stone do? If you remember, Steven Stone is all about fossils and excavation. That's his thing. So I don't think it's gonna really rely on them, the teams for the excavation, but more so on Steven Stone. How they're going to be spread out into the world, once again, I haven't thought that far ahead, so I'm not quite sure. But I do agree that I can see Team Aqua and Team Magma getting their respective orbs, which will now in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will become their Mega Stones, which will allow them to actually Mega Evolve when they come into contact with it. Now, I'm assuming that maybe when it's in Team Magma and Team Aqua's possession, once they come near it and try to control them using the Mega Stones or Primal Devolution Stones or whatever they want to be called, that is when they'll go primal and then they'll go out of control. So it's kind of like the same story, but it's just changing one item or two items really, and one segment that can really just throw everything into a tizzy. Although I hope they really do with this story as well. They explain why Omega Ruby, dang, I keep getting my words mixed up. I hope they explain why Groudon and Kyogre really do go into a primal form. Is this really like an older form? Are they really strong over here? Why do they have to change over time? Like, I want to know the whole backstory regarding that.
You know, I think it would actually be quite interesting now that you brought Steven Stone back into light and how he's going to end up getting Mega Metagross and whatnot. And since he is about fossils and whatnot, what if he did? Okay, here, I don't know, you just sparked a new idea. He runs across and he starts finding all of this stuff, and maybe he runs across the item for whatever makes them primal, both Kyogre and Groudon, and he gets captured by Team Magma or Team Aqua, and then by that time he's already managed to get his Mega Stone for his Metagross and whatnot, but they're still like holding him captive and he's having a hard time get out of there, so we have to free him, and we also have to try, you know, to combat the primal form of Groudon or Kyogre, you know, pretty much to help save Hoenn. How cool would that be? I really like that story.
That will require a whole separate arc. That would be a whole different arc. I mean, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Steven. I mean, yeah, I don't like Steven. I'm not going to sit here and say he's my favorite champion. But with that said, I don't think he's a pushover champion. I can't imagine him being captured. The only booty champion I can imagine getting captured is Alder, because he lost his convictions. Stupid. Oh, my Pokemon to die. Oh, I'm going to get another one, but I'm going to still be sad. What the? Shut up. I hate you. But I can't see him actually being captured. But I can, like I said, I can definitely see him playing a role in the distribution of the Mega Stones.
I've also been thinking about Primal Rayquaza. Now, Rayquaza is the third legendary in the third gen series, the Hoenn series, if you want to call it, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And we're not even talking about the Regis yet. He's a very, very important Pokemon. Although he's all up on the fucking sky pillar. That's what it is. So I wonder if there's going to be anything coming into play from Rayquaza. Will we end up seeing Primal Rayquaza or not? I'm actually super, super curious. I can't see him playing a huge part in the game's story. I still see him being an after-game thing. But at the same time, I would love to see a Primal Rayquaza.
They did reserve Delta Emerald. So, I mean, you never know. And with Groudon and Kyogre apparently getting buffs to their abilities, to where I'm assuming that their ability will create permanent weather once again, while Drought and Drought and Drizzle, they just make 5-turn weather, because in 6th gen they took that out, but they could give it back to the legendary Pokemon, which I would be 100% fine with if they did that. But if they did do that, then maybe for Rayquaza, they could actually, if he does get a primary evolution, they give him a new ability as well. Now I'm not sure what it would be, because Airlock is pretty much the counter to both weather. And speaking of which, this isn't anything to do with the Mega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, but it's just something that's been on my mind. Why is it whenever they have that third Pokemon, the third Pokemon always has to act like a balance? Like, why is that? Why are the two main Pokemon so always out of control that there needs to be a balance? Like, granted, you didn't really have that with Ho-Oh and Lugia, but I mean, Groudon and Kyogre, their powers got out of control. Rayquaza got coming in and swoop, save the day. And then you have Xerneas and Yveltal, who, first of all, were almost completely useless in X and Y. But then it's like, you have the person of a generation, person to death, and then you need balance of them two. So you have Zygarde with Aura Break. Like, I don't get it. Why do you need that balance? Why do you keep doing it? Stop that.
These motherfuckers need to calm down. That's what they need to do. All these legendaries that they introduce, they need to seriously calm the fuck down. But at the same time, most Pokemon RPG games seem to follow the same, sort of story. There's some sort of destruction going on somewhere, and you have to resolve it. And it's easiestly done. It's easiestly? Did I just seriously say easiestly? It's done,
yes,
with most ease, by putting these legendaries in there and making them cause all the havoc, whether they've been controlled wrongly by some sort of force or orbs, so on and so forth.
But it's just silly. Why is for the love of based Arceus? What the heck? Why are these Pokemon so out of control? You create these Pokemon to have these abilities to manage the world, but then again, these Pokemon can't even control their own abilities, so you have to make a third Pokemon to control it. I don't understand it. I mean, at least Mewtwo was made by humans, so him being out of control would make sense. He's not even out of control. That's the thing. He just hates all humans, but he's not out of control. He goes on a cave by himself. Mewtwo is introverted. I can respect that. Wow, a cat is introverted. That's like, wow, I just thought of that. Not bad. But I can respect that. But Ho-Oh and Lugia. Well, actually, no, the Lugia? No, Ho-Oh was the balance. Ho-Oh was the balance. I'm sorry, not Ho-Oh. Lugia was the balance. Ho-Oh, what was Ho-Oh? Did Ho-Oh ever get a movie or anything?
I don't think so.
What is Ho-Oh?
He came out in the first episode, but they didn't identify him as Ho-Oh. He was just a little bird or a gigantic cool phoenix that was flying over, and Ash was like, oh my god, a bird!
I know, right? I like how they already predicted second gen before first gen even got started fully.
Yeah, definitely. But that also raises another question, because we have a lot of legendaries, coming out in a few games and whatnot. Like with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, if you go back to standard 3rd gen, you're gonna have Regice, all of the Regis, Regirock, Registeel. You're gonna have Rayquaza, Kyogre, and Groudon as well. And I almost said in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but in the original games, the Regis were super irrelevant. You had to go through all of this shit at the end of the game to get to them. So maybe this time they'll actually do something. They'll tweak the story a little bit to make them relevant. I don't see them getting primal forms at all, but I just see maybe them just tweaking the story a bit I don't know, maybe they'll have something to do with the primal forms. Who knows?
Well, I remember we did a prison podcast on Lumiose like a couple weeks back, and it was discovered that apparently, once again, it's speculation, so it means it's an opinion. So if you don't agree with that, then deal with it. But pretty much, they're saying that the Reggies represent the times. What is it? Regirock is the Stone Age, Regice is the Ice Age, and Registeel is the Iron Age.
That is actually really cool. I didn't know that at all. That's really, really cool speculation right there. And that could mean something. So I'm actually really hoping that they do something to tie them into the story. I don't know about you. Do you want them to tie them into the story this time instead of just being, oh, after game, you can go do this?
Yes. I would like it if the trio Pokemon did have some purpose. Because, I mean, even though you already know the trio Pokemon are meant as helpers in a way, they still should all serve some purpose. Like how in 4th gen you had Azelf, Meesprit, and Uxie, which was like willpower, emotions, and knowledge. Was that it?
I think so.
It was one of the 3, but it was like 3 human characteristics, and those 3 Pokemon were actually relevant to the story in 4th gen. Like they actually were. It was all about, like, honestly, I feel like 4th gen did a really good job with the story, just because it really did implement all the abilities of the Pokemon. Dialga with time, Palkia with space, was it Giratina with distortion? They had the emotional Pokemon. I just felt like everything just tied itself in perfectly. That's what they need to do with 3rd gen. I want to see the Reggies be like, okay, we have Iron Age, Stone Age, Ice Age. And then we have the creation of age, which is land and sea. And then we have Rayquaza, which is like balance and sky and whatnot. So why can't because the battle between Groudon and Kyogre affect the Reggies in some way? Like, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but at the same time, I feel as though it needs to happen.
So do you guys think that we're going to see a primal Rayquaza? Do you think that we're going to see any more primal Pokemon like the primal Reggies? Like I said, I personally don't see primal Reggies. Do you think that they're going to tie Rayquaza and the Reggies into the story? I definitely really am hoping, like I already said, that the Reggies get tied in at least. I could still live with Rayquaza being after game no matter what, but I would still like to see them tie the Reggies in for sure.
I'm not sure if I want to see a primal Rayquaza, but then again, I feel as though it just has to happen. But who knows? I mean, Pokemon has been known to throw curveballs before. I mean, they threw 2 curveballs in 6th gen when they brought in not only fairy Pokemon, but Mega Evolutions. And everyone said that Pokemon was getting the Digimon treatment. So we never know what Game Freak is thinking. So they definitely could pull a Delta Emerald and make the first remake game that actually gets the tie-in thing, you know?
So pretty much let us know what you think or how you believe that the stories are going to go. Do you believe these legendaries are going to get tied in finally, like really nicely? Let us know pretty much anything that you come up with, because obviously we've just sat here and speculated. We tied the Reggies in, or how we'd like to see them tied in pretty much. And I don't know. I want to see Steven Stone get captured. That would make me laugh so hard.
Well,
and how funny
just
would
want
it
to save
be?
your husband. Stop.
No. He is not my husband.
Steven and Kristen sitting
No.
in a tree.
No.
Kissing. Catching mind making. Okay, let me stop.
No. He's that is not happening. But I don't know. I just want to see him get captured and just have a hard time for whatever reason. And I don't know. I think it would make a really interesting story. So with all of that, you guys, I'm gonna ask you the questions again. Do you think we're going to see a primal Rayquaza? Do you think that somehow they're going to manage to tie the Reggies into the story? How do you guys believe that the stories are going to go? Do you think any other Pokemon will get primal forms? And do you think that there will actually be a Delta Emerald? Let us know in the comment section below, because I would just love to hear your responses. There's been so much speculation going on in this video, so I definitely want to hear from you guys. And I think that's it, right? Do you have anything else to say, PK?
Mega Pikachu?
Mega Pikachu, you guys. Mega Pikachu's gonna be in Hoenn, maybe. We'll see. And
and also don't forget to join the Lumiose League when we get our secret bases. Hey!
Yeah, don't forget Lumiose League. It's gonna happen. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. We're gonna keep you guys updated on all the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire updates. We're gonna, give you guys some speculations here and there, because it allows you guys to let us know what your thoughts are. But with that, we will see you guys next week for another Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video. Bye!
Adios!